show us you got New England pride. Show us you've got New England pride. Stand up, shout out, show us you got New England pride. Show us you've got New England pride. New England pride.
Hi, and welcome to New England Pride TV.
I'm your host, Dale LePage.
And I'm Tina Billing.
We've got a great show for you, and we'll be back right after this.
New England Pride TV is brought to you by the Hanover Theater for the Performing Arts, Remax Vision, Bay State Savings Bank, Safe Homes, Joseph Gonzalez Dofre, Boston wedding photographer, Paul Chasen Interior Design, Nuovo Restaurant, Dr. Frank P. Fetchner Plastic Surgery, Fallon Health, The Queen's Cups, This Week in Worcester, Electric Haze, Escape Games Worcester, The Fireplace Room Restaurant, Uniquely Your Decor, and Art Reach.
Hey kids, welcome back to New England Pride TV. I'm joined now by Eric Balboni. Did I say that correctly?
You did.
Now, first of all, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
And out of our 3 seasons so far, you are our first vocal coach, which I'm surprised we haven't had. We've had like tons of musicians and comedians and singers, but you're our first vocal coach, so you're paving the new territory for us.
Okay, no pressure.
Now, let's start first of all by learning a little bit about you, where you came from. I'm assuming you are also a musician.
Yes, I'm a singer myself as well as a coach.
Now, where were you brought up, and where did you learn to sing?
I'm from Wareham, Massachusetts, near the Cape, but not on it.
Okay.
And I learned to sing just in church. You know, my parents took me to the good old Episcopal church, and I loved singing with the choir.
And that's where you found out you could sing, and
that's where I found out I could match the pitch. But I always took piano lessons, and I just stuck with it and was like, hey, I like doing this. When I got to high school, my freshman year, I was like, I'm in the drama club. And the music director was like, hey, you should audition for Fiddler on the Roof. And
he heard your voice and said, you're really good, and this is, we need you, need you. And
she was like, oh yeah, we need a tenor. And she's like, you sound like you've got kind of a high voice. So I said, okay, I'll audition, but I don't know if anything's gonna happen. And then I just got really built up, and I was like, hey, I love doing this.
Now, do you come from a musical family, or?
Yeah, so my grandpa was a jazz pianist in the bars, also from Wareham. And he had all of my aunts and uncles and my mom singing when they grew up and playing the piano, and they kind of passed that down to us, which was so nice.
Well, that's fantastic. So I love it when people come from a musical family. I think of like the Von Trapp family. Did you ever get together with a bunch of your family? And
yeah, so every family event, actually, I go over to the piano and we all sing a little bit. But we used to do these concerts together at the church that I grew up in, actually. And they were actually in memory of my grandfather. Once he passed, every year we would
really
get
sweet.
Together, and my aunt would kind of lead it, and we'd sing like folk songs, and we actually sang Edelweiss.
Of course you
Yeah.
did. How could you not?
Of course, it's beautiful music out there.
So you're in high school. You're asked to audition for this play. What was the play?
Fiddler on the Roof.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've never seen that.
Really?
I've never seen the play. I've never seen the movie.
Give it a watch.
Okay.
It's good music.
All right. Are you a fan of the movie? Should I watch the movie, or should?
Yeah, watch the movie.
All right.
Yeah,
Okay.
It's classic.
And so you start singing, and how do you go from singing in high school to becoming a vocal teacher?
So I decided my junior year, I was like, I really want to pursue this. So I applied to colleges, and I started going to Anna Maria College, where I now teach, for music education and vocal performance.
Now, where is Anna Maria College?
It's in Paxton, right outside of Worcester.
And what brought you from where you were to Paxton?
I had a friend who went to the school, and also the chorus director at the time directed a festival that I was in, and I was like, hey, this is probably going to be a good fit. Let me see if I can audition there.
The more I talk to everybody, it's all about connections. It's all about networking and connections.
And with music, it's like so much the relationship. If you have like a good vibe with somebody and you want to work with them, that's what fosters good music.
That's true. So you must have taken years of vocal lessons yourself, correct?
Yes. Yes.
And when does the student become the teacher?
The student, it's interesting.
Do
So
you still
I
take-
still take lessons.
Okay,
I
yeah.
think we're all lifelong learners as singers because there are things that I can't teach myself that I need somebody else to listen and give me the
Absolutely.
feedback. My
Absolutely.
teacher is an amazing, he taught me how to teach as well.
Mm.
So I did a vocal pedagogy program at NYU, which is where they kind of take you as a singer and say, okay, start teaching undergrad students while you're learning, and then
Oh,
they
okay.
give you the skills along the way, so you get
Basically trial by fire.
exactly. It kind of weeds out everyone who can't handle that. But my teacher Jeremy A was just brilliant, and
And where was he?
New York.
New York.
He still is, yeah.
And now you took the lessons he gave you and you brought them to Anna Maria College.
Yeah.
Now, let's get down to a vocal lesson, kind of like what people can expect. And I'm sure a lot of people who are watching at home, our viewers, are I get a lot of people asking like where I took vocal lessons, and I refer them to my vocal teacher, who I thought was brilliant. And so maybe they'll be interested in reaching out to you. But if somebody comes to you as a student, what's the first thing that happens?
Yeah, so the first thing we do is we find a time and we meet and we get together, and I will kind of talk to them, ask them about their goals, what do they want to use their voice for, what are their demands right now, are they just here for karaoke, are they here for church,
Right.
are they here because they're auditioning
Right.
and they have to prepare for something?
Right.
So I kind of figure out, okay, what does this student need right now? Then we'll sing some warm-up exercises for about 10 to 20 minutes and kind of
So do you teach them, if they've never had a vocal lesson, for those of you at home, before you sing, before you do anything, you need to warm up your instrument, and you teach them the importance of that beforehand, right?
Yeah, so I'll tell them why we're warming up, and then also just teach them a few easy exercises, just so I can see what their voice is capable of right now, and I can get a feel for like how they are in the process, what their next step is.
Right.
Then I'll ask them to sing whatever they're most comfortable with. If that's
Maybe they're-
Happy Birthday to You, if they have a song that they love to sing that they know, if there's a pop song they love, or something classical if they're a professional.
Now, do they bring like music to sing with, or do you play with?
Yeah, so I play the piano for them, and if they have the sheet music, great. If not, I have a pretty decent amount in my iPad.
Oh,
so
I see.
if they
Yeah.
mention a song, I can generally get it pretty quick.
Yeah.
And then I kind of start working with them, tweaking some technical changes. And then not only do I get a feel for their voice and where they are, but they also get a feel for me as a teacher and see if we're a good fit, because that relationship is so important.
Now, there's a big trend right now with a lot of vocal coaches doing online lessons. How do you feel about that? Do you?
Well, there's two types. You could do a Skype lesson, which I'm okay with because that's me and the student. It's a little tricky to coordinate with lagging issues and to not really be in the room with somebody. It's really hard to hear the nuances of the voice.
Well, for the 12 years that I've taken vocal lessons myself, when I was with my teacher, I loved where he would, position me in a certain way. My knees had to be a certain way. He would feel my breathing. He would feel my neck restrained. I mean, all that. Like, you can't do that through a video. So,
No.
But maybe it's just something to be you can add to it.
It's something that I think is a good option if you're long distance and you've worked with this person before.
Oh, very good
If
point,
I
yes.
already know you and
Yep.
you move to California,
Right.
we can continue to work because I kind of have a feel. But it's so important, as you say, to be there in person. I can give immediate feedback, immediate opinions if we need to, put our hands on and kind of dig in there.
I think
It's
that
very
sounds
hard
wonderful.
to do from behind a camera.
I bet you're a great vocal coach. I have yet to hear you sing, but I'm sure I will, because I'll make a point of it. But we're winding down to the last few minutes of our interview. Let's give our viewers at home a website where they can reach you and maybe get a vocal lesson, or maybe they can just kind of like get some tips from you.
Yeah, absolutely. So I have a website. It's ericbalboni.com, EricBalboni. And there I have audio, I have videos of myself. My teaching philosophy is on there, as well as my resume.
Your teaching philosophy.
Yes,
I
my
love-
teaching philosophy.
Go ahead, give us that.
Oh, it's a page long.
Oh, it's a page long. All right. It's not a fortune cookie.
It's basically that everyone can sing, and that my job as the teacher is to provide you the tools to achieve your next step, and your job as the student is to prepare and take things very seriously. But it's generally about how the science of the voice is really important to understanding how to sing, and it's my
science of the
responsibility
voice.
to know that.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
It has been an absolute pleasure. I could have talked to you much
you,
longer.
yes.
Thank you for joining us
Of
today.
course. Pleasure to be here.
And we will be back with more New England Pride TV right after this.
Hey Dale, hi everyone, it's me, Miss Lady Sabrina. Now, as many of you probably know, I am recently single. But I want to talk about a few things because in kind of telling my own story, a lot of people brought to my attention a lot of the epidemics that we suffer, not only in the gay community, but in the straight community, which is cheating. Now, this isn't going out to the cheaters because you can't educate someone to not cheat. You also can't make someone cheat who doesn't want to. You know, that's a character flaw. This is going out to the people who are the faithful ones. The ones who are left with the damage that cheating inspires. So let's talk about a couple things. First off, we have a natural inclination to kind of take cheating personally, like there was something that we did or didn't do that could have prevented that person from going elsewhere. That is a lie we tell ourselves to feel like we had control in a situation where there was none. The other thing is, you know, how do we trust? You know, how do we move forward? How do we have healthy, normal relationships? Well, that's a little more difficult. First is, you know, there were a lot of red flags, whether you want to admit it or not, that were going on in the relationship that you didn't act on, ignored, gave the person the benefit of the doubt, or just plain dummied up to. Those are the ones that you should have acted on. And I'm not blaming you. I'm saying for future reference, take it as a learning experience. Learn from it. Learn what you should have done, what you could have done to protect yourself, not to prevent cheating, because you can't. The reality is that when the right one comes along, and there are right ones out there, they're just far and few between because, again, cheating is an epidemic. What we need to do is you need to make sure that their words and their actions match. Like, if they say they're going to do something and they don't, okay, red flag. If they go over a friend's house and don't pick up their phone when you call, red flag. If it happens consistently, red flag. If you're sitting at home waiting for someone who said they'd be home at 7 and doesn't show up until 10, 11, 12, 1 or 2, red flag. Because a good man or a good woman will always back up their actions, will always say, I'm going to do something and follow through. If a person doesn't, then that's a smaller issue in a much larger problem. So you have to pay attention. And the other thing is don't stay not to be alone. My grandmother used to always tell me, I would rather be alone for the right reasons than with someone for the wrong. So if that is a piece that you struggle with, being alone, then I suggest you find someone to talk to. You are worthy. You are worthy of love. You are worthy of respect. And you're worthy of a person who actually puts your needs somewhere up on top. So I hope this new year finds you well. And my New Year's resolution is to be happy. I hope you all share that with me. All right? I love you all, and I'll see you all soon. Love and light.
This is is Lisa Condit, and welcome to the Hanover Theatre this week. You don't have to wait 525,600 minutes to see Jonathan Larson's Pulitzer Prize and Tony Award-winning masterpiece, Rent. The 20th anniversary tour comes to the Hanover Theatre for the Performing Arts Thursday, April 5th through Sunday, April 8th. Generously sponsored by Bay State Savings Bank, Rent continues to speak loudly and defiantly to audiences across generations and all over the world. The musical follows an unforgettable year in the lives of 7 artists struggling to follow their dreams without selling out. With its inspiring message of joy and hope in the face of fear, this timeless celebration of friendship and creativity reminds us to measure our lives with the only thing that truly matters: love. How do you measure a year? Log on to your social media right now and use hashtag Hanover Theatre with your answer for your chance to win a special monthly prize. To see a full list of shows and sign up for email updates, visit us online at thehanovertheatre.org. And don't forget, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for the latest news and show announcements. See you at the theater.
Hey kids, we're here now with R.J. Sheedy. And hi, welcome to the show, first of all.
Thank you for having me here, Dale. I'm very excited.
And I've known you for a couple of years now,
I think a year or so now.
A year?
I met you at one show at Nick's. I met you a night before, and honestly, you're just an awesome guy to keep in
Oh,
contact
you're very
with.
kind. Now, I've asked R.J. to be a guest on the show because he's an inspiration to not only me, but to a lot of people. Because, no, stop it. Stop pretending to be shy. I know you too well. So, one of the reasons that I find you an inspiration is because not only do you have well, let's start from the beginning.
Okay.
You were 16 years old.
Yes.
You were openly gay in a very small town, and you decided to have a talk show on that small town's cable station.
Yes, I did.
An openly gay 16-year-old. And that just took such balls. And it was like, I am so amazed at you.
Thank you.
At 16 years old, all I was doing was pretending I was Cher. And you're out there doing this. You know, I mean, that's amazing. So tell us, first of all, what's the name of the show?
Okay, so the name of the show is Talk Show with R.J. Sheedy. The way the show started was I was in a video production class my sophomore year of high school. And we had a unit in the class where we all had to produce our own talk show. We all got into groups. We set up who the camera people were going to be, who the directors, the audio, the hosts were going to be. And no one in my class wanted to be the host. Everyone was really anxious and frantic about being on camera and talking to people. And I just volunteered myself to all these groups who didn't want to be on camera.
Because you just knew you could be good at it, or you wanted to just, has it been a goal of yours?
I've always really loved television, and I wanted to be in there somehow. When I was 4 years old, I really loved Gilligan's Island, and for a whole summer, I
didn't?
For a whole
I wanted to be Ginger.
For a whole summer, I dressed as Gilligan with the white shorts and the red shirt and the little sailor hat.
You could have went out for Halloween.
I ran around my neighborhood like that all summer long. So like somehow I kind of went from like loving TV to like wanting to like be a talk show host. And like honestly, one thing that I really love about it is that I love the people that I meet. I love the connections that I meet. I love the stories that I hear. And one of the greatest things I love is just sharing those stories with people.
Right. It's all about the connection, and you see so many people in your line of work, and you've been doing it for how many years now?
I think about 5 years now.
Well, going on 5 years, and do you have anybody that comes into your mind right away that maybe has inspired you or as a very memorable guest from all these years of?
Oh, we've had a lot of guests on the show. Some of my favorite, one of them is absolutely this guy, Ray Ozier. He works at the radio station in town, and he's just one of these giant community figures where everybody in town knows him, everybody in town loves him. And he just has this such positive energy and joy with everything that he does.
Is this the Ray Ozier that runs
My FM?
No, he runs a club, doesn't he? Like something Diamond or Liz's Diamond?
He thinks he runs Liz Diamond. He thinks he runs the
No. I interviewed him on another show about music in his club, and he was extremely knowledgeable. And
maybe he does have a club.
Yes, he does.
I don't know.
Stick with me, I'll tell you. So he was one of your
140 Pub and Club in Bellingham?
No, I think it's
Okay.
Liz's. It's by the airport or something.
Maybe.
All right.
I'm learning so
So
much.
what? So he runs a. I didn't know he had a radio show.
Yeah, so he works at the radio station in town, My FM. He runs the morning show on there, and he runs all the social media accounts. And through all of that, he's very connected with the town and everything that happens.
And-
so he's a great resource to have whenever I need a phone call for anything.
Oh, that's great. We all need that person,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
So he does a lot for your community,
He does a lot for our community. He
like
does
you
a-
do.
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
Now, not only do you have this cable show called The Talk Show with R.J. Sheedy, is
Yes.
that what it's called?
Yeah, Talk Show with
But
R.J. Sheedy.
You then went from high school to college, and how did you wind up with the college talk show? How did that happen?
Sure. So the college talk show, I didn't even know this was going to be a thing when I walked into college. I have a professor who's very, very helpful for me my entire time at Worcester State, Steve Manichello. And
Hi, Steve.
hi, Steve. Do we all know Steve?
I think I met him.
Okay. Yeah, so Steve's a professor, and there was another professor who was becoming in charge of the Center for Community Media on campus. And he went to this video professor and said, do you have any students that you would recommend to work with me on creating a once-a-week talk show of some kind? And one of the names that he gave to him was mine, and I was lucky enough to work with him for 2 semesters on the program. We had you in there. We had a lot of wonderful faculty members of Worcester State and community members.
Now, did you show him your talk show, the one you did
Yeah.
in Milton, and he said, "You're my host"?
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
Nice.
So, yeah, basically, when we originally piloted the program, I had a co-host with me, and she ended up graduating, and another situation, everybody's too shy, no one wants
okay.
to try it out,
All
so
right, okay.
I kind of just took it.
Now, I was a guest on your show, and I feel like I have to apologize. I was a
What?
guest.
You were a great guest.
I was just so. It was in the middle of my campaigning for my city. To ban conversion therapy, and I was in the middle of that, and I was so hyper focused on that, and I came in and I didn't mean to. I was like a doom and gloom guest on your show. I'm usually upbeat and positive, but it's a very serious subject, and I was really trying to get it passed, and we're still trying to get it passed in Massachusetts. But thank you for giving me the format to talk about that.
Absolutely. You know, one of the things that I love about being openly gay and having this role as a talk show host is that I get to sometimes bring some of these issues to light in the
Right.
community. Like one of the guests I have coming up on my show, I think this month, is Joe DeMora. Joe DeMora is Mr. Gay Rhode Island. He's been here before.
He has been on this show.
He's been on this show. He has a
And-
new book out now, Spectrum. It's all about, it's his story.
His story.
And
Right.
it's a wonderful book. And honestly, he's a real inspiration to the community.
He is actually going to be my honorary co-host for January show.
Oh, exciting.
Yes, so
Very cool.
he'll be joining us for filming next time. I love the kid. I love the book.
The book's great.
Spectrum.
Spectrum. It's really
And he's
good.
coming out with another book.
Yeah.
He announced that.
I just
so
saw that on Facebook.
It's very exciting, and I get to meet amazing people like you and like you do.
Yes.
Now, is television something that you'd like to find yourself working in for your career?
I think so, yeah. One of the things that I really love about it is, like I said, sitting down with somebody and really getting to know them and share their story. So
Right.
if I could possibly do something like that for the rest of my life, I feel like that could be a really happy, joyful life. Because I don't see
I
myself,
love that.
you know, I don't see myself as a guy sitting behind a desk, you know, doing computer work and paperwork all day. I'm like, I can't do that. I can't sit still for 5 minutes.
That's true.
So if I can be out here talking
Yeah.
to people like this
Yeah,
is
learning, growing,
learning,
evolving,
growing. Yes.
helping.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. This is what we're here for. We're here to help.
Now, you see yourself as a talk show host, or somebody behind the scenes, or behind the producer, camera? How do you?
You know, I've done all the roles in the television studio. Because of the Milford TV aspect of my life, there are many member shows, and there are a lot of help that's needed on those shows. So I've played all these roles. It just so happens the role that I like the most is the role out here. One thing that I think could be really fun is maybe producing. There was a student, there was the one student last of the 2 semesters that I did community media, Ashley Anthony. She said to me, I want to go out to Anime Boston and cover that and come back and do my own show on it.
Yeah.
And so I was able to help her coach with her scripts and how to sit at the desk and what to wear and stuff like that. And honestly, that was really fun, like passing on my wisdom to somebody else. So producing might be another line of
All right, sounds
avenue.
good.
Yes.
I'm looking forward to what you do in your future. As for now, our interview, unfortunately, has come to an end here on New England Pride TV. But I want to thank you so much for joining us. If people want to get in touch with you to find out about your show, How can they do that?
Sure. So you can find the show on Facebook at facebook.com/RJ Talk Show. You can find me on Twitter at RJ Sheedy. And if you want to watch the show, you can go on youtube.com/Talk Show with RJ Sheedy.
We'll be right back after this.
New England Pride TV is brought to you by the Hanover Theater for the Performing Arts, Remax Vision, Bay State Savings Bank, Safe Homes, Joseph Gonzalez Joffre, Boston wedding photographer, Paul Chasen Interior Design, Nuovo Restaurant, Dr. Frank P. Fetchner Plastic Surgery, Fallon Health, The Queen's Cups, This Week in Worcester, Electric Haze, Escape Games Worcester, The Fireplace Room Restaurant, Uniquely Your Decor, and Art Reach.
Hello, and welcome back to Rod's Propaganda. I've received a lot of feedback on my television debut, mostly condescending beauty tips, so thank you for that. I'll try washing my face between meals now. Yeah. Oh, and before you get your hopes up, I still have no idea what this segment is about. I just haven't had the time. I've been so busy accepting friend requests from New England Pride TV viewers, who incidentally seem to all be young ladies with large bazooms, with links to some of their videos. Did not care for the content, no. But I spent hours making sure. I love that I'm being billed as a comedian here. I mean, I am a comedian, but this is literally the worst way to do comedy. Without a live audience, I'm well aware that this is just 3 minutes of me laughing at my own jokes. Untested jokes, I might add. They're not even really jokes. Oh God, what am I doing? I was on a date with this guy, and I asked him if he liked Hamilton, the musical. And he said no. I feel that even serial killers are like, it's good music. It's a shame, because I really wanted to invite him back to the room where it happens. Oh dear. And that is Exhibit 247 in the prosecution's case for why I'm single. So the main thing that I do is fun cabaret, where I sing and entertain in a piano bar. Most often at Club Cafe in Boston. I think I'll be there next in March. Wink, wink. But I also do drag. Poorly. At most 2 or 3 times a year. As the charming Southern belle, Miss Rhonda Bound. You know, just the wig, the dress, comfortable shoes, and just enough chest hair to be unladylike. So, speaking on the phone with someone about a gig where they want a singing drag queen, I say I can sing show tunes, standards, a pop song or two. It's just what they are looking for. Could I send them a few photos of Rhonda? This is the first time I've been told in so many words that I wasn't qualified for a job based on my looks. Except for every encounter with a gay man I've ever had. Guess I'll have to keep my day job at Hooters a while longer. That's all for now. See you next time on Rod's Propaganda.
I hope you'd enjoyed this show as much as we'd enjoyed bringing it to you. We'd like to end the show by saying what we always say: please don't be afraid to shine your light,
because you might be lighting the way for someone in need.
Until next time, thanks for watching New England Pride TV.
Hey, hey, hey. Tune in, show us you've got New England pride. Show us you've got New England pride. Stand up, shout out, show us you got New England pride. Show us you've got New England pride. Mm-hmm. Shabba-ba-ba-ba-ba-dee. New